back to Rocco's Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a little baking. We're making butter horns, one of my favorite cookies. So, cheers, and let's get started. To start, we're going to make our dough. For that, you're going to need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of milk, a cup of sour cream, 1 egg yolk, and 1 cup of unsalted butter. Alright, let's begin. To start, we're going to add our butter, 2 sticks or 1 cup, to our flour. We're going to use a little pastry cutting tool to chop that in. If you don't have one of these, you could always use like 2 butter knives. Now the idea is to chop your butter into your flour until you get little pieces just smaller than the size of a pea. Do that. You're just cutting your butter into the flour. It'll pick up flour and make smaller and smaller pieces as you go. Okay, so we just got what looks like a shaggy mess here. But our pieces of butter a little smaller than a pea, so we're going to set that aside. Now we're going to take our wet ingredients and mix those together in a separate bowl. We got our sour cream, a teaspoon of milk, and our egg yolk. So use a fork and bring all that together. And now we bring back our flour mixture. We're going to go into our flour mixture with our wet ingredients. A little spatula here. Make sure we get all that. Now you're going to take your fork, start incorporating wet mixture into your flour and butter. So once most of our flour has come together, we're going to dump it out on the table. And kind of just put the rest together with our hands. Now you don't want to work this too much because you want your butter to stay cold. Make sure you have a nice flaky pastry when this is all done. So we're just going to work it enough to get it to completely come together. Don't want to melt that butter. Okay, that's it. So now I'm going to wrap this up and leave it in the fridge for 1 hour. Let it rest. In the meantime, we'll make the filling. Our dough is chilling. For our filling, we're going to use 1 heaping cup of finely chopped walnuts, half a cup of white sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. All we're going to do is mix all that together. Dump all that into one bowl. Grab our fork. And just mix it until it's nicely incorporated. That's all there is to it. Alright, I'm going to finish mixing this up. I'm going to see you back in about 1 hour when that dough is nice and chilled. Okay, our dough is chilled. We got our walnut mixture, and I also got a little flour out for dusting. I'm using a rolling pin and my bench scraper. All we're going to do is get the dough out. Cut it in half with my bench scraper. Then I'm going to wrap up half of that and put it back in the fridge while I work with this so it doesn't get too warm. You don't want that butter melting. Keep it cold. That's going to make sure you have a nice flaky crust pastry. Now we're going to take this half and cut it into thirds. Okay, and that's what we're going to be working with. I'm going to get that back in the fridge and be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to work with 1/3 of that half at a time. I'm going to lightly flour our table. Roll this dough out into a circle. We're going to go pretty thin with that. And roll it out. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. Say. Sticking. Does stick if you take a bench scraper. Pop that up. A little more flour. A little flour. It's almost there. Just about. All right. Let's see. You're good to go. You don't have to worry about it being an absolute perfect circle. Just get close as you can. Sticking. Okay. One more little pass just to make sure everything's even. Now we're going to go on with our walnut mixture. Figure you're going to want to use about a 1/6 of that. You'll have enough for each piece. Let's make it. Just a nice thin layer all the way across. That should be good right there. I'm going to take a sharp knife and cut it into little triangles. Almost like you're cutting a pizza. We'll cut each quarter into 2. What we're going to do is just roll it up. Kind of pull it away as you roll it up. Nice and tight. There you have your cookie. Keep doing that. Any of that filling that falls out, you can just scoop it up and throw it back on the rest of them. Just twist. Set it aside. So now we got one round cookies done. Got my sheet pan. Gonna lightly spray that. We're gonna take the cookies. When you put them on the tray, you're gonna give them a slight bend, like a moon shape. Just like that. Behind me, I got my oven preheated at 375 degrees. Once I got a full tray, I'm going to put these in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes until they're slightly golden brown. Okay, I'll get the rest of these trayed up and roll out the rest of that dough, and then we'll start baking. Okay, our first tray is ready. Managed to get that whole half of the dough onto one tray. These can be pretty close together. They're not going to expand too much while they cook. You don't want them touching, but they can be close. So we're going to go into the oven for 20 minutes to 25 until they're slightly golden brown. And while that's cooking, we'll get the other half rolled out. First batch is out of the oven. Took exactly 20 minutes. I'm going to transfer those to a resting rack and get the other batch in. All right, our second batch is out, and they came out beautifully. They are light and flaky and just delicious. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.